right, here we
So
are.
meeting to order. I got approval of minutes July 16, 2025.
Absolutely.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Engineering contract increase. Who's got that?
Nagel's up there.
Lisa?
Yeah, can you, I was just turning you up so I can hear you better. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Got it.
Can you ask your question again? Sorry.
Number 3.
The update in the resolution, I think it was a difference of the resolution for EM structural, the slight increase from what was.
Yeah, is Paul on? I think this was amended because we were waiting on the bank situation and the DASNY grant. Is that right, Allison? This is Paul's sort of piece here, but.
Yeah, and basically it was the amount went up $7,500 from what was approved in the July meeting. So this resolution is to approve that new total fee resulting in $37,500.
Because the people that have some before.
I believe so. I believe so. That's what you're saying. Okay. If Paul isn't on yet, I believe that's what it was.
This is all covered under the grant, right? The DASNY grant.
Correct.
So, any questions on it? Everybody get a chance to read it? If so, can I get a motion?
It's covered by grant funding. I'll do it.
Jack, all in favor? Opposed? So moved. Bank update, we have preliminary approval. We're waiting for final approval. I should have it either in this meeting or tomorrow at 9 o'clock. So we're set to go with, should be set to go with the financing on the DASNY grant for the $1.5 million. Plus money to take out Adirondack. Get rid of. And as an update, Adirondack or MBT is willing to discount 100% of the interest. And we're now talking about maybe a little bit of the principal. So, but they're definitely going to eat all the interest at this point. So we're in good shape.
Great job.
Yep. Project updates, Lisa.
Yeah. So now we have Paul and Bob with us, just as an FYI.
17 building.
Yeah, I think Jack, you were the last one I think to talk with Sal. Do you have any updates on that?
No, I need to call him by this week, just as another touch base and to see where he's at with stuff.
I mean, I will say that we haven't gotten anything from them. Right.
As counsel.
Did you hire Andy?
I think he's in the process, yeah.
Okay.
Who do you hire?
Bob, you were pretty firm a little about it.
Who they have?
Andy 3.
17 building is sell, right?
Right.
Did he do anything we asked him to do?
I know Bob.
Well, that's the first thing was getting an attorney.
I had a long conversation with him this morning.
Okay.
When was our last meeting? In August?
And-
Or when he was here? I wasn't at the
July.
meeting. July. We haven't had a meeting since then?
Oh, yeah, one off.
In August, right. I
He
was,
wasn't here.
There's no court.
I wasn't here.
Mayor was here. We had a lot.
That was conversation.
Yeah, what happened at that, he told me at that meeting, very upset about that meeting, about comments that were made to him, and he wouldn't be treated the way, he wouldn't be treated, all of that wouldn't be treated the same way. So I don't know what happened, I wasn't here, so I think somebody needs to talk to him. If not, we need to set a deadline that if you don't have this done by, say, December 1st or whatever, you're done, and we're gonna put it out to bid. I mean, I think, he wants to give me the whole term that Palmieri gave him his word, okay? It was a done deal, all this stuff, and I just think somebody needs to talk to him, and I think us as a board here, we need to come up with something to say, if you don't have this stuff done by a certain day, we're going in a different direction, we're putting it out there. I'm sorry, I'm just speaking in my opinion, and
I agree with you.
and, I mean, I don't know what happened here. I wasn't here in the meeting in July. He went on and on and on. And I called him today to say, what's going on? So I had an idea here. I want to hear, what you guys told him. Did he get his stuff? And he explained to me that he was told that He doesn't need all this other stuff that they're asking for. They didn't ask him for that in the beginning. Nobody said anything to him for 2 years. Now all of a sudden they want other stuff. So my opinion, somebody who's ever in charge of this board should call up and say, Sal, this is what we need done. We decide whatever date. I think November would be too close. And personally, like I told him, Sal, Rob spent almost $250,000 doing all this renderings, signed a purchase agreement. You know, well, they didn't tell me I had to do that. They needed this. I sent it to them. I don't know all the ins and outs, but I think we should just push it and move on.
There was not much difference between the first letter that he provided to us and the second letter.
So he did provide a second letter.
He did, but again, it was
From a lawyer.
Just, I mean, Bob Kelly, told him specifically, you need to get an attorney and have him draw up. You have, the one from Rob in your hand. Got to.
And has he done any of that?
You might not have been at the meeting.
I wasn't in
but you
July.
were flying the wall, because what you just said is
Oh, okay.
in July.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is, it's
But we didn't set a
nonsense,
date.
it's nonsense that we're trying to treat you differently than anybody else.
Right.
You came into the dynamics, they decided to be very proactive. You just sat on your hands to a certain.
Well, he keeps stating.
And so we
that-
gave him good advice.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just telling you what he's stating, that the other administration guaranteed him he had a verbal agreement that the building was gonna be his. He didn't have to have this stuff, and now they want it. So, and I did tell him today, I go, Sal, it's probably different now because there's other people that probably want to bid on it. You know,
The new administration also.
right.
you know,
So
and if
I
you
don't know
wanna
what
follow
happened at
what
that
the other
meeting,
guy
but
said.
I think we should just set it up. I mean, agree to a date, December 1st. I think November 1st is, we're in October. We're a week away from October. I think you give him 2 months. If he doesn't have it, then we ain't gonna do nothing before then anyways. I think you cut ties, or not cut ties, but put it out for bid. If he bids on it and he's gotta do the stuff, then I think we go with it from there, but that's just my opinion.
I think he thought we were gonna just hold his hands for everything, and then that's not how you.
No, and I've been trying to do that. Yeah.
So,
Do you have an architect? Do you have a grant? I tossed a couple grant writers to him. Do you have this? Do you have that? Or what are you working on? And, yeah.
I don't think we said anything wrong to him. I think, well, everything we told him was guidance.
Right.
Listen, you're a little off the tracks here. Let's get you back on the tracks. Let's get you going forward. And, for him to say that, I'm really surprised.
I initiated the call, so if I'm wrong in doing that, I want to hear.
It's good to know, Joe.
I initiated the call to him today. He's my friend, and I wanted to hear what he had to say, so I could listen to what's going on.
Sal Russo.
So we'll get a letter out to him December 1st, seem reasonable, everybody?
Right, because anything he does is gonna take a month. I don't know if he's already started, it's gonna take a month or so,
We'll
right?
just hire a lawyer and get something.
Okay, yes.
Yep.
Letter of interest,
Yeah.
an updated letter of interest.
Vin, maybe along,
The perfect one.
I just think
All-
that-
I was just gonna say along with the letter of intent, I think we should ask for some schematic, plans. You know,
Send me an email what you think I should be asking for,
okay, I'll send you, yeah.
and I'll just put on my letter and forward it to him, copy everybody.
And for the record, since we're on camera, I did talk to Paul again this morning and called him and told him that I called him. So I don't want to open a can of worms, but I mean, enough's enough, because I keep hearing, because yesterday there was a post put, and he was upset about it. There was a post put on Facebook by somebody stating this is what it can be. The harbor's dragging their feet, and he tells me because his name was in it, he had nothing. He was upset that this person put that out there because it's a beautiful rendering of different how the buildings would be. And I had to bite my tongue and not comment on it and say, well, obviously, when the buildings are sold to build, they're gonna look a lot different than the buildings than they have there now. But I don't want to really get involved in all that. That's why I called him, because his name was on there.
So, fortunately, I'm not a.
Oh, I saw that. Didn't show you.
No matter how many times I search for it.
I think the deadline's consistent with, I know Bob suggested that a number of months ago, and I think it's consistent. You guys have been talking about for a while, setting a deadline. I think it's perfectly reasonable. It gives him enough time, and if he wants to do the project, gives him time to respond and move on. If not, then releases the board to do something, to move on, And yeah.
Okay, get that out. Jones Chemical, anything?
Yeah, we had him. So, Bob and Melanie suggested that it may make sense to take out the LDC as a middle entity in the transition because the parking lot construction is under a bond and that has to be in the city's control before the construction starts. And so, if LDC buys it, it's got to be transferred to the city. So Bob suggested maybe take out the LDC as a middle person. We ran that by the mayor last month. He thought that was acceptable. We briefed Stephanie DiGiorgio with the intent to move that forward. I'm not quite sure if she's done too much. I think I got to check back with Stephanie in Corporation Council to see where she is. I haven't heard from her since that. I don't know, Bob, if you've heard from her, but I haven't.
No, and I don't suspect she would be following back up with us unless she had a really particular question. We gave her the materials that she needed and haven't heard from her since.
Okay. Brian, have you heard from Stephanie by any chance or?
She and I had a discussion about it. She just had a few questions, nothing major. That was a few weeks ago, I think. And I think she's working on it.
Okay. I can call.
The city's gonna pay for it?
Well,
The
we're thinking about,
Does that mean the
Well-
city's gonna pay for it?
we're gonna take and reimburse the city for the funds that they had put
$90 grand.
into NBT, and then flip that to the city as a repayment, and then they can use that and kind of, just wash their hands of it.
That's where I wanna check.
Sorry. You got it.
Yeah, I mean, because the LDC was gonna do it like the promenade where the city actually supplied some money to the LDC in exchange for the promenade. So now that's not necessary. The city, will purchase it. But like you said, Vin, there's $90,000 in interest. So I guess in the end, that the LDC owes the city. So I guess in the end, it's a wash anyway, right? So.
Yeah, okay. National Grid?
Yeah, we do have some updates there. And I think Allison either brought copies or emailed some materials with regard to some of the design work that we're doing around the harbor. Everybody got?
Yeah.
At the boat
I have
launch.
those open, Paul, if you want me to
Sure. I don't know.
share.
Sorry, there's this.
Someone's
gonna.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm not which one I don't know what you want to start with, but I initially the boat launch was going to go in we're going way back now. The boat launch was going to go in the northwest corner, right? I'm sorry, southwest corner. Yeah.
I'll bring up a map.
Yeah, and that there's not enough room in that corner for trailer movement. And it also interrupted kind of this pedestrian flow we envisioned around the harbor. So the next thing we did is we looked at where the kayak and canoe launch is in that parking lot over there. Maybe Lisa, that's the one to show.
Can you see my screen, everybody?
I see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is a map?
Yeah.
I just see
Anyway,
aerial.
okay. Yep. Yeah. I was just, so it was going to be here in this part of the harbor.
Right.
So that's
right.
where Paul's saying. Okay. So now I
Yeah,
have,
and then we went to the 60 car lot basically and said, can we get it in over there? And that's over again by the kayak, but not far from the 1917 building, near the kayak and canoe launch. Might be good to show that
That's
yeah.
here,
So
right?
if you look at this, and we, as much as it would work there, but we started to have some serious reservations because if you, and ultimately we're going to lose like 30 spaces if we kind of put it in there. And the reason being, so if you drive in there with your trailer, you go
Everybody know where we
forward.
are. Here's the 19, here's the bulkhead wall. Here's the parking lot that's there.
Yeah.
This is, one of the Patels.
Holiday
Here's the
Inn.
Holiday Inn right here. So here's
Oh,
the
sorry.
road coming in.
Future Hotel. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. So, the maneuver would be enter the parking lot, turn right, go to the end of the parking lot, back into the boat launch, drop your boat, come out of the lot with your trailer, go back, and we created a lot and kind of near the retention basin in between the whole future hotel there. And that would be your parking lot and boat launch for the trailer and pickup truck or whatever. But in reality, they can't really maneuver these boats around these cars, or, I don't think we want to trust anybody, especially with a couple beers, to go in there and maneuver between so we thought we can lose maybe 4 or 5 spaces, but in reality, the more we thought about it and in the radius of swinging the trailer around, we're going to probably lose that whole side of the parking lot, and just ultimately this the side, we ultimately, well, it's possible. We can do that. We can lose those spaces. We can do this plan, but we started to look at alternates. And so we started looking at across the harbor again, but not in that one corner, but in the other corner. So we would keep the access road there, and we would, create the boat launch in an area there, and it's not the perfect area. We got to switch. It's a little bit shifted to the north a little bit more, but ultimately because of a gas line. But anyway, more or less that's where it is. We would keep the access road, and we would bring people down in that corner where we can have a lot more maneuverability with the trailer and the boat and such, and have parking there that's not across the street but right adjacent to it. So we're kind of liking this idea better. There's a yellow line's a gas line, but then you can see
This started with National Grid. So we met with
Yep.
National Grid, and there was a whole bunch of infrastructure that that we were talking about with them. So we had to start to think about what we were doing with this in particular, this boat launch idea. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So so I think we like this better. The downside is, I don't know if Rich is there, Rich Fox.
He is.
Rich?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So the downside is that it's not necessarily downside, but we're going to need an easement from National Grid. We would need some help, Rich, Dana's been great. She's the substation project manager. She's aware of this. She's trying to get the gas people and the real estate people in the room with us to talk about it. But to make this work, we need an easement from National Grid. Now, and it might be the time we really start to work a little closer with National Grid anyway on this side and work through issues like this, because there's going to be more work on that side over the next several years, and might as well get the parties working together routinely is probably a good idea anyway. So
If we can paint the picture as broad as we can at this time, I think it'd be helpful just to get, put out there on the table what you're thinking. And
Yep.
start and make a plan.
right. Yep, and that's what we're trying to do. Yeah, get.
Mhm.
We're trying to get, see if there's on the gas side, if there's any issues with, passing over that gas line, what we can do to reinforce it. If there is concerns, go through that, go do whatever we need to do from National Grid to make sure we protect it the way National Grid wants it protected. But this start, we're working on that easement and everything else, and just start working together. I guess what we want from the board, and we're hoping the mayor might be there today too, but we just want to know what direction you want us to go in, because we spent spending a lot of design money on two alternatives now, and we kind of stopped and want to say, we need to focus in on one of these two and complete the design. So we want to get direction from the board and from the city, where you want it to be.
Hey, Paul?
Yep.
Councilman Beatrice, I got a question for you. That's a great idea where you want to put that to get it away from parking, because parking's at a premium. But my question is, since the lock is not working, so we're basically landlocked, on this boat launch, are you talking like motor boats? Is there a size limit? Or, you're basically, the harbor's beautiful, but it's basically a big pond now. We're gonna have motor boats flying all around there?
Well, I think it's up to the city what kind of limitations you want to put on it until such time the lock's open, But the mayor was a big proponent of it. It actually puts, and one idea is it does keep pressure on Canal Corp to get whatever the right size lock in there, resize the lock, get it open. But and we can't. It's hard to back up the ship now because we've.
Oh, no, I agree.
I'm just because it's all part of the grant paperwork. Now, Joe.
100 boats trying to launch, all of them down there on a nice hot day, and or the same thing with jet skis. We don't have a lot of room where they can move down there to have all them boats and everything flying around.
But again, this is being built for the future, so at some point.
Right, yeah. I get it.
Right, and there'll be limitations on the parking too. So, if you get there and you have no place to put your trailer, right, you can't go that day or whatever, too. There'll be some capacity limitations just on the parking availability.
Yeah, I think, those are all great things, Joe, points, because I think you should probably, until the lock is open, maybe you'd restrict it to non-motorized boats. I'm thinking just fishermen getting out there,
Right.
That's what I'm thinking until such time we can fully really open it up, and it might be, for a couple of years, it could be kind of like we might have to close it for a bit while National Grid is doing some things over there and, construction periods and then reopen, whatever. But this is our chance to get it in.
Yeah.
The NIPA has the money.
What is your ETA of getting?
This would all be constructed next construction season, like in 26.
That makes sense to me. It's away from the traffic, right? Away
Right.
from people walking
Yeah, on the
around.
other side, you don't have
Safer over there.
It's a good idea.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're endorsing that
Okay.
idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Hey, Brian, probably, can you just double check with the mayor so everybody's on the same page, I guess?
Well, we're on the same page.
Okay.
Mike Gentile is here.
Oh, hi, Mike. Okay, you're good?
That's where he's thinking, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's
All right,
great. So
thanks. Yeah,
we'll continue, and Rich, we'll definitely need your help.
Yeah, so I'll get with Dana.
Okay,
She's at. Help nudge.
okay, thank you.
Anything else on National Grid?
I don't think so. That's the biggest thing. Everything else is
Yeah.
kind of minor. We're just working through
Mhm.
screening the substation and some things, other, little things like that, so.
Disney and Canal Corp grants?
The Canal Corp, this is the boat launch is part of the Canal Corp grants. The other aspects we're working on is the, parking lot, which would be a stone parking lot until such time we can pave it, and the trail. So all those, and the steam crane restoration,
yeah.
all those components are being advanced. We were going to advance the steam crane restoration ahead of the rest of the work. But then we got a very dirty asbestos report on the crane, and I don't know. Now we're kind of thinking this is bid everything together, every one package, and get it, it all start in the spring next year. That's kind of where we're leaning.
Those are the three components of the canal grant.
Yeah.
How bad was the report?
Oh, it's just it's funny because the 33 building had like no asbestos. It was great, but then we got the steam crane and it's all over it. It's nothing. It's not a big issue. It's just that we got to think through, like encapsulation versus removal, and I got to get our asbestos people to look at it and determine how they want to abate it, But as far as it's gonna slow it down. So trying to get it out ahead of time, ahead of the rest of the package, just didn't seem to make sense,
What materials in the crane have asbestos?
Oh,
Probably
it's
some
like,
of the pipes are wrapped or something.
yeah, and break the pads in there, the various pads, and I'll send the report to the group. Yeah, it's stuff in the
The thing's
motors.
been sitting there for 100 years.
I don't know, whatever, but
Yeah.
it'll probably be more of an encapsulation approach. So we spray some of this stuff and keep it, not actually try to, get in there and remove it, but spray it, encapsulate it, keep it from, being friable,
Throw it into a blue bag and put it at the corner.
You know, to Jen's house.
Yeah.
This subject is, what's going on with Patel's Spike Spaces? Are they working out there at all? Are they gonna get started?
The only thing I have not heard for anything from their design team other than their environmental person at CHA. So there's been conversations with Samantha Miller from CHA, myself, and DEC project manager, just talking through making sure that Visions knows how to comply with the site management plan. And she's been good, Samantha seems to understand what needs to be done and everything, but I have not heard anything else from Brian Bouchard or anything about, anything. No geotechnical information. I've nothing. Maybe I shouldn't be. I don't know, but I would have thought I'd heard something. But so I don't know where they are in design whatsoever. I don't.
I believe they're also in discussion with codes department about building permits.
Okay, that's positive. Yeah.
I gave them a sales tax exemption for just one of the properties so far. So
They want to get started, or
they haven't moved along with just
it'd
the.
be nice if we had some activity.
Yeah. Oh,
So if people see movement.
Yep.
I'll reach out to them and I can.
I'm a little concerned that, the wetland permit, I think, runs out in January of 26. So some of the filling had to be done this year in my recollection, and or they'd have to reopen the permit. Well, it's their problem, I guess. But, it was hard to get the permit to fill those wetlands, and now the permit's going to run out, but.
Okay. I'll reach out.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Am I missing anything? We missed anything, Lisa? I
No,
guess I guess the DASNY grant's the only other one. So, that's just
They
paperwork.
approved the revised engineering contract first before you got on, so that's good.
Oh, yes. Yeah, as far as everything
And,
else,
yeah.
As far as Disney goes, we're waiting on the final approval.
yeah, we're just waiting, right, the bank commitment letter, and then I can send the rest of the documents in. But yeah, as far as design, so that's getting the GDA aligned.
Mm.
But as far as design, I think that package will go out similar time frame from the NIPA. I think we still have some small hope they can do the ground improvement this fall, but it's diminishing because there was what I've heard is some changes at the building footprint or structure, and they're going to have to revise some of the, the boundaries relative to the ground improvement and this and that. So I'm not quite sure we're going to get that ground improvement work out. So it's probably got that work's probably going to be done in the spring too. So ground improvement, utility lateral extensions, and then there'll be some level of cleanup in the 33 building. It might be just when we do the rest of that work, it could be just filling the basement. It could be gutting the office area, but it'll be very limited work in the 33 under the DASNY grant. Yeah.
Okay. Questions on anything? All right. That's it. See you in the next 3 meetings.
Yeah, so wait, I do have, I I'm sorry, I thought you were just talking about that. So this is my little pet peeve. And, I'd like to get a couple answers. I know I've been working with, the mayor. You guys might think I'm crazy, but I go by there. What is planned down the road for a sign for the harbor? We have our plan, I'm sure.
There's a budget set aside, Joe.
So realistically, your plan for a light and a big, like say his building or something nice, we're probably a couple years away on that, realistically.
It'll be done during next construction season under the NIPA grant. NIPA Canal Corp grant.
50,000.
2026.
For a permanent sign.
And where's that money coming from?
The NIPA, the 2 million.
From the DASNY?
NIPA, Canal Corp.
Okay, because like I talked to Mike and I talked to the mayor now, right? It's very simple, and I know you guys might think I'm anal and crazy about it. You drive down North Genesee Street right now, you have a beautiful frame that's right there. Until then, like I know they can go for 2 days if we do this, and they're working on it. Fill that whole board with 2 sheets of plywood and paint a mural on there. And so it looks like something until that gets done. You guys are telling me right now, I'm gonna be here. So you're telling me that next year in the spring, that time, we're gonna have a sign up?
Yes.
Gary, you're telling me that?
Yeah.
So then it ain't even worth, and is it worth us doing that?
No.
It's not worth putting
No.
2 pieces of wood up and have somebody paint it? Not worth it?
No, I mean, who's gonna be going to the canal in the next month or 2 anyway? Nobody's gonna be going down there during winter. Just be patient.
So when we don't have it done, then I'm gonna be barking next year, okay?
I'm counting on it.
Okay. I'm just saying, I've been told from certain people, sent me diagrams. Mike's seen it, the mayor sees it. They all agree that it would take 2 days to do. Okay, so that, and we don't have to build anything. You're nailing 2 pieces of plywood up. Something on there that looks better than the welfare sign that's there now. I gotta have Dr. Jackson call me every time he gets off the thruway saying this is disgusting. And then he goes up to the next block where, next to the alleyway and sees that building falling apart. I'm just getting sick of hearing it all the time. So I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm not trying to be an obstructionist. I just want something to look nice. I drove through that harbor last night with my wife. There was people fishing, enjoying it. And you look through and you got a little welfare sign that says, welcome to the harbor. So I shouldn't probably use that word welfare. But at the end of the day, it's not a good image.
We're gonna put a picture of Joe and I.
Well, I don't care. But, I mean, you guys see the picture.
You're gonna have to cut your poles out.
Yeah, I guess one question on that, just because it might, Lisa and I can come up with different ways to try to make sure that happens in the front part of that work. But you guys think about, what is the vision? Is it, do you want a sign like the zoo, like what Joe Gamali did or something like that?
Yes.
That's what you want?
I've mentioned that
Like-
sign before, and my reference is that we want something monumental. And the
Yep.
sign at the zoo is monumental. I'm not suggesting
is.
that it needs to be that design or that, even that material, just,
What's that?
I went like at the.
We-
We'll put that one.
Listen, the only thing I'm telling you is right now, you see how we're just, see, this is what, here's my point. Here's my point. So we have this money, but we're discussing what kind of sign, it's gonna go back and forth. Why do we have to race when you could just make something look presentable until you could come up with a great plan? Okay? But I'll buy all you guys dinner.
Well, the only thing is, Joe, we have to have this done, but next construction season anyway, because we're under a grant deadline. So it's not like it can.
I'll buy you all dinner if it ain't.
Now, Joe.
Yeah.
Your next question is that when are we gonna start seeing some designs for this?
Well, I have a design that someone sent me to, just on that mural quick.
No, I'm
Not
not
about-
talking about that. I'm talking about, are we gonna start seeing a design that's gonna go?
Oh, you're asking now.
what, for the sign itself?
Yeah, I think
Something we should be able to vote on.
let me and Lisa work. Yeah,
With Chris.
Well, we gotta get it.
Listen, I wasn't supposed to hear the parking until the spring, so.
Well, Ryan, and Brian, the only reason that I'm saying that to you, what I'm suggesting is a simple thing to make it look better now. It's 2 pieces of plywood and a couple gallons.
I get it, but it's still money we don't have. And I realize it's not a lot of money, but we don't have a lot of money.
How much if I
anyway.
buy the plywood?
And in 2 weeks, and in 2
You don't,
months.
wait a second, you
And
don't
after
have
one
it.
winter, it's gonna look like
You
hell
don't,
anyway.
you don't have it, you got a guy that the city pays that can paint it, so you wouldn't be paying it. You'd have to go and buy a couple gallons of paint and 2 sheets of plywood, and you wanna talk about money we don't have, Brian?
It'll take care of itself.
Yeah.
So you're gonna start showing this design show.
Absolutely.
So, well, you guys are making all great point. And Lisa and I need to figure out a way to get renderings to you. And we will approach Joe Grimaldi to see if he could do a design to be part of the consideration. But Lisa, we'll have to start to get some renderings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll need to get some renderings to you
Yeah.
guys so you can make
Yeah.
decisions. Yeah. So we will do that.
Is that sign gonna go where the current sign is now? Right there is where you would put it?
It's a decision. We can talk about location too. You know, I mean, if that seems to be a good spot, but maybe there's some other ideas.
No,
Yeah.
Okay. What's that?
Where else would you put it?
No.
That's the only plot of land that the LDC owns.
That's fine. I asked a question. Am I able to ask a question? Yeah, I asked the question. Is it going there? That's a great place. It's a great place.
Yeah, that's where we'll put it.
I don't know.
Waiting for that.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
Oh, motion.
All in favor? Opposed?
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you,
Have a
everyone.
good night.
Bye. Bye.